I got to say, this is an oddity here at the round table because, as you know, we like to do our team recaps. But this week, all of our teams won. All three of our teams were victorious. That never happens. Never. There's always one of us with a frown on our face talking about how team sucks and all this.
Oh, I'm
But
still
not
not
this
happy.
week, folks. Well, we're going to get to that, Handy. We're going to let you talk about how unhappy you
Okay.
still are. But
Long
we're
as
going to
long
let
as
you
you
go
recognize.
first. No, we're going to let you go first.
A
Now,
word?
your Falcon, yeah, you're going first, pal. I want to hear everything you got to say because you're still upset even though your team beat the Saints, putting themselves in a position right now as we stand to contend for the division, even though you say they stink. So, Handy, what's going on in Atlanta, man? What's the story, bro? Let's go. Tell me.
Right, they do stink. The Falcons still stink. They beat the Saints. The NFC South is arguably for a good while there. The AFC South was except for that team up in Indianapolis with the guy with the really big head that looked like a giant axe wedge. They were really good, but the rest of there was one team in Tennessee that was good for a little bit. Rest in peace to Air McNair. But for a good while, the AFC South was like, whoa. And now the NFC South. The NFC South in the last, let me see. I'm just gonna go back 14 years. I'm just gonna go back 14 years because I met the missus 14 years ago, and we used to have this thing in our group where we would go to this one bar in Manassas, Virginia, and watch football every Sunday, all day. Like it was an all-day thing. We'd go have breakfast before the 11 o'clock game. We would not leave until after the night game was over, and the tabs would be like, it was insane the amount of food and drink you could get for cheap. I mean, we'd be there all day, and our tab would be like $40 for food and drinks. But anyway, I digress. At that point, the Falcons, the Falcons, the Bucks, the Saints, and the Panthers were all like running 10 games a season, 10 or better. Matter of fact, I think that year, 2010 or whatever, the Falcons were 13-3. They were just like killing everybody, Anyway, so in this 14 years, in this decade and a half, the Falcons have managed to go from the cream of the crop in the NFC to the bottom of the absolute barrel. That game was painful to watch. I would watch a little bit of it, and then I would just have to go put a load of clothes in the laundry and then maybe, clean out the refrigerator or something, and then I'd come back. It was just painful. It was painful to watch. Like, matter of fact, when I turned the game on, they were winning. I was out in the street getting groceries and my wife said, the Falcons are winning. I said, oh, okay, cool. The minute I walked in the door, Desmond Ridder interception. Mm-hmm. And I know you all saw my Facebook post. What made Coach think that it was a good idea to put Desmond Ridder back in the game? Like, I think the Falcons won in spite of Desmond Ridder. I'm not trying to dog Desmond Ridder. I think that Desmond Ridder was a very good quarterback. I dogged him when he was at Cincinnati, little college rivalry. I think Desmond Ridder was a good quarterback. But Desmond Ridder could not have fallen a worse fate than to wind up going to the black hole of professional football that is currently the Atlanta Falcons. They can't get out of their own way. If it wasn't for Young-Hee Koo, we could potentially have no wins. I'm not even making that up. I'm glad they won. I'm going to shut up and say I'm glad they won, but I'm tired of watching this. And part of the reason that they won, guess what they did today? Guess what they did? They threw the ball to Jake London, and they gave the ball to Bijan. Who'd have thunk? You throw the ball to your best receiver and hand the ball off to your best running back, you might win a football game. That's all I got.
Fair enough. Because again, obviously, still some questions about Ridder there in Atlanta. What are you going to do? You got what?
Him and
well, I mean, you may do that. I don't know. Again, it looks like they went back to him. You put Heinicke in, and Heinicke didn't exactly light up the scoreboard. So you went back to Ridder, and you get a victory. So I'm assuming going forward, Ridder's the guy for now. So, but Atlanta will take the victory. And then, that NFC South is a toss-up right now. I might as well flip a coin to see who wins that division. Tina.
Is more like it.
Yeah, you're hilarious. Tossing is good. I haven't heard that phrase in a while. Is anybody? I mean, is everybody out there? You know what tossing your cookies means, right? We don't have to explain that one.
Yeah,
okay, good.
Why not?
Right, exactly. Just making sure everybody's in. Well, I mean, even if people watching,
Generations.
Right, exactly. So, Tina, go ahead. Like your Broncos victorious, and now here's the thing, Tina. Real quickly before I let you get into your spiel. In Russ, do we trust now, or do we not trust Russ, or what are we doing with Russ, or what do you think? You have a winning record, if I'm not mistaken. Aren't you guys 6-5 now?
Yes, we are.
If I'm not mistaken. So you're over 500 now. You're winning, but in Russ we trust, or do we throw Russ out with the bathwater? Like the baby with the bathwater. What do you say?
Well, in my opinion, we can't throw him out with the bathwater because then we'd be throwing out our entire household budget. So we got to keep Russ. Now, what I do think is happening, and I do think the offensive playing calling is a little pedantic and not as flashy as it could be. I think that Sean is doing what he needs. He needs Russ to be a manager, have it run a lot, first and second downs, and then on third, if they need something, play action or something long to throw or an option or something, that's what they're doing. Because, I mean, there's flashes of the old Russ. When he ran that one in, he ran the touchdown in, the second touchdown we got. That thing was old Russ, just typical old Russ. And he is who he is. Now, there are a lot of Denver fans that do not like Russell because they think he does check down too much, but I can't do anything about that. So I trust Russ right now. I actually did say, let's cook earlier this week. So yeah, it's next week's game is going to be the big deciding factor. So the Texans Broncos game, which the NFL, we talked about how the NFL can like move classes around and stuff. The NFL actually ended up pulling the Broncos game up to the noon game from 3:00. So it's talk to me Sunday, next Sunday, and I'll tell you how I really feel or don't feel. And I'm getting some weird looking glare, right? Like I don't know. It's just I'm freaking out over here a little bit, looking at myself in the thing. But I love this team. I really do. I'm really liking what I'm seeing. They're fighting. They're not getting the defense is just opportunistic. As I said, like I'm trying. They're just so opportunistic. They're creating mismatches. They're getting balls that they shouldn't be getting. So the defense they're good. So we'll see what happens. I mean, wild card, right now the Colts are in 7th. They've got the last wild card spot right now.
Right.
But us, the Texans, Broncos, and Texans and Colts are all tied at 6 and 5.
Right.
And there's some pretty tough games coming up. So we'll see what happens.
Yep.
I mean, if we beat Houston, there's some people in the national media that are going to have to start eating some crow. So
we're all for the national media eating a lot of things, but right, crow is definitely one of them. Delilah, yes, our beloved Bear gets a win, but there's, to me, kind of with Handy, to me, there's still so much that I just want to shake my head at. And I would like to just get Eberflus and Getsy in one room and question them like, they were my trapped prisoner and smack the crap out of them and be like, what the hell is your problem? I mean, there's just so much you can go with this game. But yes, we win 12-10. Fantastic. We're 4-8, still in last place in the division that we're in because we finally got a division win for the first time since like October of 2021. But your thoughts on this game, Delilah? What did you think? I'll give you my opinion in a moment.
Okay. First of all, I know we didn't get any touchdowns, but Justin Fields did have 217 yards, no interceptions. And I think that it's unfair that he gets dogged so much when he had over 200 yards passing. Now, there were a lot of drop balls. People saw that. There was a lot of stops, fumbles, not, you know what I mean? Like, and we couldn't get to the end zone, not even rushing. As a team, we had like 100 yards rushing as a team between 3 players because Foreman was out. And it proves just how important he is to our rushing, and I hope that we keep him. But and then gets caused are screen plays like
No, we're the
defense. They had
Go
4
ahead.
They intercepted Dobbs 4 times. So it wasn't for lack of our defense keeping us in the game. All we got out of 4 interceptions were field goals. Thank you, Cairo Santos, for giving us all our points that game.
Yeah. He was our leading scorer always, like always.
He
Right.
is our leading
That's y'all's
scorer.
version of Young and Cool.
Exactly. Cairo Santos show. Fantastic.
Even
Give me the extension.
if everybody's like, oh, he missed that first kick. Yeah, that's it. He made all the rest. He's consistent.
Yeah, he is, though.
Across the
He's only missed 2 field goals all year. So,
the last 4 seasons, 5 seasons he's been with us, consistently making his field goals and his PAT. Okay? Like, he's doing his job. So it's like, and it's just frustrating to see Fields put over 200 yards and we cannot get a touchdown. It's just like, come on. And everybody's like, oh, you need a new quarterback. I said, do we need new coaches who know how to actually coach a quarterback and play to their strengths, right? And hide their weaknesses. That's what good coaches do. They go, let's do this. And then, okay, we'll work on your passing. We know he can rush. Why are we not putting him? Like, he was breaking all sorts of records when we let him go, right? Now, all of a sudden, they came in and started playing all this, like, weird stuff with him. And I don't appreciate it. And I think it's important for him to get one more season with coaches who have experience, like actually quality people who know how to develop guys before we just throw him away. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't draft a quarterback just to have him in the background. It's dumb not to, especially since we're going to get all these picks from Carolina because doesn't mean I agree with you, Nick, when you commented on the comment on the Facebook page that I don't think we should draft someone in the first round, that because there are other needs. But I'm not saying we shouldn't draft a quarterback. Right. But I am saying that before we throw away Fields with the bathwater, as you were saying, let's actually get him some decent coaches to actually play to his strengths and really see what he can do. And then we do trade him, then he'll be of value because people will realize, hey, he can play. It's just the coaches sucked, Yeah. So like, you know what I mean? So anyway, that's my 2 cents. Great. We have 4 wins now.
Yeah, we're forward. But my biggest thing, and what I want to figure out, because help me with this one, anybody, why in a crucial series on defense is Montez Sweat not on every play, and why is Jalen Johnson not out there on every play? You're 2 of your best defensive guys, and they're on the sidelines during one of the most important defensive drives of that entire game. And you're like, wait a minute. Did we not? And correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't we just give this guy a 4-year extension for all this money? Mm-hmm. And in the most crucial drive of the game, he's on the sideline for most of the. What the hell are you doing? Like, I tried to give Eberflus early on the benefit of the doubt. And as the weeks go on, I'm just like, I'm so on Delilah's side with just going, would you get rid of this bum already? Like, please? Like, somebody do something, because I'm watching this, because I watched highlights and I read some of the articles. I tried to catch up because I didn't see the game live, and I'm like, you have to be kidding me that your 2 best defensive guys were not on the play for every field of that last drive. That, to me, that's coaching. That's horrible. That absolutely cannot happen. He should be gone. There's a lot of reasons why But to me, that's one of those where that just takes the cake. That's just bad coaching. Like that proves to me that maybe you don't know what the hell you're doing, and you need to go, Matt Eberflus. And you can take Luke Getsy with you.
Yes.
And as the old saying goes, F you and the horse you rode in on, because you can just get out of town quick. I don't even care. Because I'm done with all that nonsense. Right. I'm done with all that nonsense now, pal. It's done.